What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Hope you're doing well, feeling great, and enjoying freedom. It's a great day to have a great day. Today, I wanted to talk about the spot price of silver climbing back up into the $25 an ounce range. Gold is up as well, but we also have to talk about a major Federal Reserve update regarding yesterday's FOMC meeting. Got some good news. We're going to get into it, but really quick, just in case you're new, make sure to subscribe for daily videos, subscribe to my second channel for weekly videos, get yourself some DYDSS merchandise to help support the channel in the biggest possible way. It's your last day to get the limited edition Luck Has Nothing to Do With It t-shirt and hoodie, only available until midnight tonight. Get one while you can. A portion of the proceeds are going to St. Baldrick's Foundation, and if you use promo code LUCKY15, you'll get a 15% discount on everything in the DYDSS store. Come and join us in the Precious Metals VIP Club, which is where I do giveaways, live streams, deal alerts, and a whole lot more. And of course, last but not least, go and get your 5 free stocks by downloading Webull and funding your account. It could be a deposit as little as 1 penny. I know, because that's what I did. Everything will be linked in the description. So today is Thursday, March 17th, 2022. Happy St. Patrick's Day for those of you that celebrate. The current spot price of silver as I'm filming the video is $25.34. It's up 29 cents or up 1.16%. A solid green day for the beautiful white metal. And the spot price of gold is $1942.80. It's up $15.60 or up 0.81%. A pretty nice green day for the beautiful yellow metal as well. And of course, the gold to silver ratio is in the 76 to 77 to 1 range. But of course, that's as I'm filming the video at like 10 o'clock in the morning, not as I'm editing, posting, or as you're watching. So head on down to the comments and let me know the date and time you're viewing the video and what the current spot price is for you. I'm always curious. Okay, so in today's video, we're going to be talking quite a bit about the silver, quite a bit about the gold. As you can see on display right here, we've had the display that I've had all week so far. Some miscellaneous coins at the top and at the bottom, creatures of the north, a little bit of gold and some special coins over there and some silver bars too. But before we can even get into the money, I think we need to first talk about the currency. More specifically, a summary of what we learned from the Federal Reserve's FOMC meeting that ended just yesterday. All right, so if you haven't been paying attention, the Fed just finished up a 2-day long meeting. It started on March 15th and it went into March 16th. This has been the long-awaited meeting that we've all been talking about pretty much all year so far, because it was seen as arguably the biggest catalyst right now, at least, that would either drive the markets up or drive the markets down, depending on what the Federal Reserve's inflation combating decision ends up being, what Jerome Powell ends up commenting on, and of course, whether or not we get the rug pulled out from under us. And this week, it finally happened. The reduction of bond buying is complete, and rates are officially going to start going up. As expected, the hikes are starting at 0.25%, 0.25%. This is likely going to remain the trend, as an increase of 25 basis points every time the Fed meets this year, which will be 6 more times, so 7 times in total. 7 total rate hikes in 2022. Now, as of right now, that's what we should be able to confidently expect. As we all should probably know by now, the Federal Reserve prioritizes being predictable, because the last thing they want to do is shock the market. However, there are some factors that could force the Fed to tweak their strategy, which we'll get into in a moment. But in addition to rate hikes, Jerome Powell also talked about the return of employment, and that with the labor force participation increasing, it should prevent a wage price spiral, which, for those of you who don't know, a wage price spiral essentially means prices going up causes people to demand pay raises, and then when they get the pay raises, it gives them more money, and then when they get more money, they spend the money, which drives up prices even more, which gets more people demanding pay raises, which gets more people spending more money, and then that causes the price to go up again, and it's just a spiral, hence the wage price spiral. So even though at the moment the game plan is to continue raising rates in small increments each meeting this year, I just wanted to point out one catalyst that could, in theory, force the Fed to change their strategy, even though right now it doesn't seem likely. Continuous, persistent inflation. We're probably not going to notice much of a positive impact on inflation right off the bat. Yeah, we just had the FOMC meeting yesterday. It doesn't mean that all of a sudden prices are going to start coming down today or this week or this month or even next month or even the following month. I believe it's going to take a couple months or a series of rate hikes before we even start to scratch the surface. But let's just say several months down the road go by and inflation is still climbing. What happens if prices are still on the rise by the end of the summer, going into the fall, going into the winter? What then? At that point, the Fed is going to have to reassess what's going on, and they'd probably end up start raising rates by 0.5% at a time rather than 0.25% at a time. But if that happens, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Again, at the moment, that doesn't look like what we're going to end up seeing. This action should start getting inflation under control, hopefully sooner rather than later. And after this FOMC meeting, after listening to what everybody had to say, gave me a little bit more optimism than I had before. Again, we learned all of this yesterday. And what was funny was how the market reacted all day long. We opened up in the green, and as you can tell from this image right here that I put up on the screen, we were having a pretty strong day up until about 2:30. Then everything just nosedived straight down. Coincidentally, around 2:30 is when our friend Jerome Powell opened up his mouth. Everyone said, sell, 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 sell. I just found that funny. But in this next image, you can see that I have up on the screen right here, the market very quickly U-turned, went straight back up. And not only did it go back up to where it was right before it dropped, but then it just kept going up and up and up and up and up. And this was during Jerome Powell's speech, when he ended up giving us some pretty good news. But again, that was yesterday. And before we move on to the silver and the gold, I wanted to talk about how the stock market is holding up today. We currently have the S&P 500 up 0.28%. We have the Dow Jones up 0.09%. And we have the NASDAQ up 0.46%. Again, I'm filming this video at 10 o'clock in the morning. God only knows what the rest of the day is going to bring us. God only knows how the market is going to continue to react throughout the course of the day, and especially tomorrow as the trading week comes to an end. But we're in the second half of the trading week right now, and at the moment as I'm filming the video, we're in the green. I don't know if it'll continue, but so far so green. And really quick before moving on to the silver and the gold, because I have something that I wanted to talk about regarding inflating the stack, I wanted to give a quick little reminder, since we were on the topic of the stock market, to go and get your 5 free stocks by downloading Webull and funding your account. Usually it's 2 free stocks. They bumped it up to 5 for a limited time, so capitalize on that while you can. All you have to do is download the app and fund your account. It could be as little as a penny. Worked for me. If you refer one friend to the app, by the end of the month, Webull's going to give you 10 free stocks for the referral. This is part of their advertising budget. Rather than wasting currency on billboards and TV commercials, they reward their users for helping them build their app with them. And of course, if you refer 3 friends by the end of the month, Webull's going to give you a free share of Apple, at least. You get a spin on the Webull wheel, which guarantees you that free share of Apple, but you also have the chance of winning 2, 3, 5, 7, maybe even 10 free shares of Apple. It's incredibly simple. Just refer 3 friends. Webull link in the description. Time is running out. If you don't want the stocks, go and get them anyway. Sell them. Congratulations. Now you have the cash to go get you some silver and gold if you want. Webull link in the description. But now, moving away from all of that, moving away from the stocks, moving away from the Federal Reserve, moving away from the FOMC meeting, moving away from inflation. Although we're not going to be moving too far away from inflation because I'm going to be incorporating that into the silver and the gold. But let's now get into the silver and the gold. As you can see on screen right here, have a little bit of everything. We have some miscellaneous coins up there at the top, the type 1, the type 2 silver eagle, we have a silver maple, we have a silver kangaroo, we have some more miscellaneous coins down here. We have a tiger, an elephant, and a panda. In the center over here, we have 2 creatures of the north, the kraken and the werewolf. We have the 25th and the 30th anniversary Canadian maple leaf. We have a 10-ounce silver bar. We have a 5-ounce silver bar, which you can't even see. We have some junk silver, which you also can't even see. And of course, some fractional gold right down there in the center. Looks like we have a 10th-ounce Krugerrand, Philharmonic, Eagle, Maple, Britannia, and a 1/4-ounce Philharmonic. But what I wanted to talk about today was obviously going to be about silver and gold, but it's going to be about inflation, but not the bad kind of inflation. I'm talking about the good kind of inflation. You might be wondering, what on God's green earth are you talking about? How can inflation be a good thing? Well, it can be a good thing if you choose to inflate the stack. This is a concept that I came up with a couple of months ago. I said it as a joke initially. I said, with inflation on the rise, it's making me kind of want to increase how much I'm stacking by, whatever the percentage is for inflation, which at the time was 7%. I said it as a joke. I was joking when I said it, although I guess you can say partially serious. But what I had said was that with inflation at 7%, maybe that's an indicator that I should be stacking 7% more silver. Well, guess what? 1 month had gone by since I had made that joke, and inflation had gone up to 7.5%. And that's when I said to myself, I was like, wow, I said it as a joke before, but now it's something that I'm probably going to have to start implementing. However much silver I'm stacking, however much silver you're stacking, if you want to match inflation and increase how much you're stacking by whatever the percentage is, in my opinion, from my perspective, it actually doesn't seem like a very bad idea, especially not at this time. And by the way, fast forward another month to present day, inflation's no longer at 7.5%. Now it's at 7.9%. And everything that we've been seeing over the last couple of weeks, we got Russia and Ukraine going on, we have supply chain constraints, that's already an issue, and now the war is going to make those issues even worse. The supply chain is going to be even more disrupted from what it already is. We have inflation on the rise. It doesn't seem like it's going to be coming down anytime soon, at least another couple of months now that the Federal Reserve is officially taking action. And on top of that, people are spending like crazy because we're just getting off of a 2-year overstimulated economy. All of the stimulus checks, all of the tax credits, all of the non-existent interest rates, we were overstimulated for 2 years. So right now, people have more money than they've ever had before. Right now, people feel richer than they've ever felt before. And right now, people are just spending like crazy because, well, I mean, there are a couple different reasons why they're spending. I'm sure a lot of people are spending in a reckless way, which if that's what they want to do, that's entirely their business. I don't care what they do with their currency. But I would say a lot of people are spending money right now in a strategic way. This is what we see going on in other countries. This is what we see going on in Russia, for example. They're looking at like 20, 30, 40% inflation right now. So a lot of people in Russia, they're taking the ruble and they're spending as much as possible because they feel as though it's just going to keep getting weaker. So they want to spend it on something that will hopefully or potentially store value or something that will last them an incredibly long time. We're kind of seeing that here in the US as well, even though we're not seeing that detrimental level of inflation. And I don't know if people are necessarily doing it consciously right now. I think people just see that every time they go to the grocery store, it's getting a little bit more expensive. I feel like every couple of months that go by, maybe they're going to start seeing, their bills continue to go up. They were like, hey, I paid this bill last month, and last month it wasn't this expensive. And I think people are going to see that gas is getting more expensive. That's another thing going on right now. The price of gas is going through the roof. And if you add up all of these things together, at the moment, it doesn't look like the next inflation report is going to be all that nice to see. Like I said, this most recent inflation report bumped us up to 7.9%. The next inflation report, if things keep snowballing, which unfortunately at the moment I think that they will, like I said, I think it's going to take several months before we can even start scratching the surface. I wouldn't be a bit surprised if this upcoming inflation report, especially now that we're factoring in significantly higher gas prices, I'm actually horrified that we're going to start to see double-digit inflation. I hope to God it doesn't happen, but I wouldn't be all that surprised if it does. So anyway, back to the silver and the gold. People see that inflation is real. People see that inflation is not stopping. So we can very easily sit here and complain about it. That's a very easy thing to do. It's incredibly easy to do. All I have to do is complain. But I've decided several years ago to take the American approach, which is not complaining about a problem, but working to figure out a solution to the problem, or at the very least, the closest thing we have to a solution to the problem. So obviously the silver and gold is my way of playing financial defense, and we're kind of getting attacked from all angles right now when it comes to finances or when it comes to the economy, economic hardships, financial struggles, financial defense, the silver and the gold. So with inflation now, according to the recent CPI report, 7.9%. My idea is maybe, just maybe, it wouldn't be a half bad idea to start inflating the stack by 7.9%. Or just increase how much I'm stacking by 7.9%. It doesn't have to be exact, but let's just say you're picking up, I don't know, 20 ounces of silver a month. Let's just say that's just usually what your goal is, or roughly how much you're stacking. Maybe it's a little bit more, maybe it's a little bit less, but let's just say you make it a goal or make it a mission to get a certain amount of silver each and every month, or as close to it as possible. If you're stacking, let's just say 20 ounces of silver a month, maybe with inflation being at 7.9%, consider bumping that up to 21 or 22 ounces of silver a month. Match inflation to the best of your ability, if you can. If you can't, no big deal. As long as you're still stacking, I think you're still chipping away at what I think we're all doing over here, which is just working on a potential solution to the problem, at least long term anyway. And with inflation likely going to continue going up, I wouldn't be a bit surprised if we see it continue to climb the next few months. But with that being the case, consider increasing how much you're stacking or investing. It could be either way. Of course, one is a way of playing financial defense, and the other one is a way of playing financial offense. One is about making money, the other one's about saving money. Two completely different concepts. See, a lot of people put them in the same basket, and for the last 4 years, I have heavily disagreed with that. I couldn't possibly disagree more. I don't think stacking and I don't think investing are synonymous. I think that they complement each other quite well, but I don't think that they're the same. Like I said, one is about making money, one is about saving money. Somebody commented on my video a couple of days ago saying that you're never going to get rich off of the silver that you're stacking, and my response to that is, not one time in 4 years have I ever claimed or even thought that I would get rich off of my silver. That's not the plan. I didn't start stacking silver to get rich off of it. Why would I do that? It's a way of saving money. It's not a way of making money. Silver and gold, at the end of the day, they are just that. They're money. And to be honest with you, I don't think spot price even really moves at all. Or should I say, I don't think the value of silver and gold even move at all. Spot price moves. Spot price goes up and down. But I don't think the value of silver and gold goes up and down. I think the value of the dollar bill goes up and down, and it kind of like reflects itself on what spot price is doing. But at the end of the day, an ounce of silver is an ounce of silver. An ounce of gold is an ounce of gold. That doesn't change. That has never changed. And I don't believe it ever will. So even though spot price goes up, spot price goes down, we see red days and green days, that's just on paper. At the end of the day, it's still a troy ounce of silver. And it always will be unless you melt it down and split it up. Or you melt a bunch of troy ounces together. Now it's 5 ounces or 10 ounces or 50 ounces, whatever you did. Silver's silver and gold is gold. I don't think the value goes up and down. I think the value and the purchasing power of the dollar bill is what's going up and down. I think that's where the volatility is. I don't think silver or gold are volatile at all. They just sit there. But that's a way of playing financial defense for me. That's how I go about playing financial defense. Now, you could play financial defense with the precious metals. Now wouldn't be a half bad time to do that, being that we're, in a weird way, metaphorically, under attack financially. When we're under attack financially, it might be a good time to defend yourself financially. But it's also never a bad time to be playing financial offense as well. And like I always say, I don't think you can go 50-50. I don't think you can evenly play offense and defense at the same time. I think you're going to be playing offense more than defense, or playing more defense than offense, depending on what's going on in the world. It depends on what the other team is doing. Depends on whether or not you have the ball. It depends on whether or not it's your time to score. But you can play financial offense as well. Playing financial offense is a way of building wealth, growing wealth, and generating wealth, even if it's in very small increments. If you're working on a business, if you're investing in stocks or index funds, if you are buying plots of land or rental properties potentially, that's all a form of playing financial offense. That's a way of growing your wealth. Silver and gold over here, that's a way of preserving the wealth. That's the term that has been used for the longest time, wealth preservation. This isn't a way of growing wealth. This is a way of preserving what you grew in the past. That's just how I see it at the end of the day. Which is why I have decided to play a little bit more financial offense at the moment, and that's mainly because it seems like everyone else is a little bit too afraid to be playing financial offense. And as I always say, there's this very popular, very overused quote when it comes to financial offense, which is, be fearful when others are greedy, and be greedy when others are fearful. Right now, to say the least, people are fearful. So I took that as a little bit of a sign, or a little bit of an indicator that, okay, maybe it's my turn to be greedy. Maybe it's my time to score. Maybe it's my time to go after what I'm trying to go after and build something up for myself so that I can later turn around and use the silver and the gold to preserve what I built. That's why I said I think they complement each other. I think they go side by side. I don't think they go hand in hand, because they're different. They're different strategies, but they're for different reasons. But it's the same thing as like when you're playing a sport, or the same thing as when you're really doing anything. You got to be playing both sides, depending on what the other side is doing. But anyway, though, back to the focal point of the video, increasing the stack, or inflating the stack, I should say. Stack inflation. Stackflation is what we can call it. Stackflation. So I don't believe right now is a bad time at all to stackflate by 7.9%. Like I said, even if you're just getting a little tiny bit of silver, it doesn't have to be very much. You don't have to inflate the entire stack. You don't have to look at what you have and say, oh, I have, let's just say 1,000 troy ounces of silver. I need to up that by 7.9%. I don't think you need to go that crazy, although if you have the ability to do so, and if that's a choice that you're making, more power to you. That'd be awesome. But is it realistic? Probably not. At least not right off the bat, at least not this month. So what I think is a good idea right now is potentially consider increase how much silver you're stacking by 7.9%. Even if it's 5 troy ounces of silver, friendly reminder, you can go after fractional silver. If you're only getting, let's just say, 5 troy ounces of silver. If that's your plan, if that's your goal for the month, if you're only willing to get or only able to get 5 troy ounces of silver this month, you can inflate that by 7.9%, 7.9%, and get yourself a little bit of fractional silver to go along with it. Maybe consider picking up 1 silver dime or 1 silver quarter or 1 silver half dollar. Just to add a little bit more. Just to inflate what you're stacking just by a small bit. That's just what I believe, and like I said, I originally said it as a joke. I didn't say it in a very serious way, even though subconsciously it probably was kind of serious. And it was followed by another month of even higher inflation, and it made me realize that that joke wasn't really a joke. It's probably a pretty effective strategy. So I want you guys to head on down to the comments and let me know anything and everything related to today's video topic when it comes to inflation, or when it comes to the Federal Reserve's meeting, the 2-day long meeting that we just wrapped up yesterday. I want you guys to let me know your thoughts on that. Did you tune in? Did you read through some of the information? Did you listen to the speech that Jerome Powell gave? Did you listen to the questions and answers when he was talking to different reporters and people that were asking him questions? What are your thoughts on how he conducted himself, and what are your thoughts on the game plan, the strategy right now? 25 basis point hikes every time, or should be every time, the Fed meets for the rest of the year, which is 7 times in total, starting this yesterday, and of course 6 more times by the end of the year. What are your thoughts on the strategy? Do you have high hopes? Are you optimistic? Or do you think that no matter what anybody does, everything is just going to go down the drain? Head on down to the comments and let me know your thoughts on that, as well as your thoughts and opinions and how you feel about inflating the stack, or inflating how much you're stacking. Just by a small bit. Doesn't have to be by a whole lot. 7.9%. You don't even have to go up that much. You can inflate it by 3% for all anybody cares. Just by stacking a little bit more than you would have ordinarily been stacking anyway. Just as a method of doing a little bit extra to try to combat inflation to the best of your ability. Head on down to the comments and let me know. If you guys like today's video, please hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, subscribe to my second channel, which is my backup channel for weekly videos. Go and get yourself some DYDSS merchandise to help support the channel in the biggest possible way. T-shirts, hoodies, stickers, coffee mugs in a bunch of different designs. It's your last day to get. The luck has nothing to do with it. T-shirt and hoodie, limited edition, only available until midnight tonight, and a portion of the proceeds are going to St. Baldrick's Foundation. Don't forget, use promo code LUCKY15 for a 15% discount on everything in the DYDSS store. Link in the description. Come and join us in the Precious Metals VIP Club, which is where I do giveaways every single month, live streams multiple times a week, deal alerts on silver and gold almost every single day. You can watch all of my videos early and commercial free. Every Saturday morning I post a brand new adventure vlog, and there are a ton of other perks as well. I guarantee you the value exceeds the cost. VIP Club link in the description. And of course, last but certainly not least, make sure to go and get your 5 free stocks by downloading Webull and funding your account. They're going to give you 5 free random stocks just for doing so, and you can fund your account with as little as a penny. I know, because I did that myself. And of course, if you refer one friend by the end of the month, Webull's going to give you 10 free random stocks for the referral. It's part of their advertising budget. Like I said before, rather than wasting currency on billboards and TV commercials, they reward the users for helping them build their app with them. And if you refer 3 friends by the end of the month, Webull's going to give you a spin on the Webull wheel, which guarantees you at least 1 free share of Apple, with the chance of winning potentially 2, 3, 5, 7, maybe even 10 free shares of Apple. If you don't want the stocks, go and get them anyway. Sell them. Congratulations. Now you have the currency to go get you some silver and gold if that's what you want. Don't pass up on an opportunity. Webull link in the description. Time is running out. And I want you guys to head on down to the comments and let me know once again, what are your thoughts on everything shared in today's video? How do you feel about the FOMC meeting yesterday? What are your thoughts on that now that we finally got that long-awaited Federal Reserve meeting out of the way? We didn't know if we were going to get rug pulled. We didn't know if this was going to happen. We didn't know if that was going to happen. But now that we know, what are your thoughts? Feeling positive, feeling negative about it? Let me know. And of course, when it comes to the silver and the gold, are you going to be inflating how much you're stacking this month? Stackflation. Will you be raising the amount of silver that you're picking up or the amount of gold that you're picking up this month by, let's just say, 7.9%, just to match the CPI report? Is that something that you're going to be doing? Is that something that you agree with? Is it something that you disagree with? Or, by the way, it can also go for investing, by the way. Maybe increase how much you're investing by 7.9%, let's just say. Head on down to the comments and let me know anything and everything related to today's video topic. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you tomorrow. Don't you dare stop smiling. Peace.